there, and welcome to WWJ's Writing Conference, Authors Conference 2023. And I am Tish Bouvier, so I have a presentation I want to present to you. So grab your notebooks, put your questions in the chat, and we're going to get started. Let's start it now. So, what I'm going to talk to you today about is creating characters so real that your readers will miss them when the book ends. And the reason why I chose this topic is because I love characters. I just love my characters. Are my new best friends. They're my family. So let's get started. About me, I am Tish Bouvier. Most of you know that. I'm a storyteller, a haiku poet. I'm a podcaster, a one-word writer podcast. I also host the Coffee Break Authors Cozy Corner on YouTube. I host Write With Me, Never Write Alone. It's a writing community. We usually write 5 a.m. in the mornings, but you can always catch us on the replay if that's too early. But I encourage writers to push forward one word, one sentence, one paragraph, and one page at a time. I'm a native Texan. I'm a retired hospice nurse. I'm married to my hubby that I call my boyfriend for 31 years. And I'm the proud mommy of 3 talented daughters who are content creators, artists, and musicians. So let me take this off so y'all can get a better view of my presentation. Now, this is my family. In order to create families on the pages that resonate with readers, we need not only write what we know, but what we don't. And family plays a significant role in shaping a writer's characters and the development within the story. For example, characters' family background can influence their motivations, the beliefs, and the personality traits. And also, family dynamics can, such as a loving family or a strained relationship, can contribute to a character's internal conflicts and desires. I also believe that there are bits and pieces of ourselves in our characters as well as people we know. So you see my family right here. In my current project, I'm writing my first cozy mystery series about an amateur sleuth named Bailey Ray Weatherwaters, and she is known as Bay, and her feline sidekick, Mr. Bud the Wiser. Y'all can follow my journey on my website, and be sure to sign up for Get the Scoop newsletter to see what's going on with my characters and their shenanigans. So my objectives today, we're going to talk about 10 topics, 10 crucial topics that are essential for breathing life into your characters. And your readers will miss them when you close the book. So beyond fiction characters, characters are the heart and soul of storyteller. Their essence fueling the imagination and weaving tales that resonate with readers for a lifetime. So we're going to talk about why we create memorable characters, complex relationships, evolution and growth, internal monologues and thoughts, antagonists with depth, impact of secondary characters, readers' engagement and feedback, visual aids and inspiration, diversity, inclusivity, and creating an emotional ending. And I'm going to try to do all this in 2 minutes or less for each slide. So, why we create memorable characters? Well, memorable characters enhance the reader's engagement. Characters that resonate with the readers engage and invested in the narrative. Readers want to follow characters that they care about, which leads them to turn the page, anticipating what happens next. And that's why it's so important to know your target audience. You need to pinpoint different characteristics of your character, maybe real life problems and their traits. And for my cozy, I already know my target audience. I sum it up a little bit. We have premenopausal women, people who love cats, senior citizens, whodunit, readers who enjoy solving a good, clean mysteries, and fans of series. And the list really goes on. So once you know your target audience, you can bring these kind of characteristics and traits into your characters. And also, readers like real life problems. And in my story, in which I'm using my first book as reference throughout this whole presentation, like excuse me, like my main character Bay. She's a people pleaser, and I'm sure we got a lot of people pleasers out there. She neglects her own needs to accommodate others first, and she's rediscovering her purpose in the world, including her own identity. She's jobless, unemployed. She have a problem with love, trust, and betrayal. And there's medical conditions such as Alzheimer's that's a part of my story. And of course, since it's a cozy mystery, murder. So readers should be able to see themselves or the people they know in your characters, which allows self-reflection. Your characters can outlive the book and influence readers' perspective and shape lives. Because of this, your characters will become a part of your reader's life. And this will also help generate a fan base by word of mouth, resulting in a strong and loyal following waiting for your next release. The complex relationships. Complex relationships between characters are a crucial aspect of storytelling. By developing layers connecting connections, authors create a dynamic and engaging narrative. Conflicts, whether it's internal or external, serves as a driving force, propelling your story forward while revealing the character's depth. Now, if you notice at the top, I have three pictures. That's Bayweather Waters in the middle. And on one side, that's Herman Stiles. He's a deputy. And the other one is Chewy. So the positive interaction is between Bay and Chewy. They, as you know, positive characters, they support each other, they inspire each other, they challenge each other, and throughout the book, Bay learns to trust Chewie, where he becomes her support. Whereas the negative interaction is between Herman Stiles, he's a deputy at the top, and at the bottom, that's the big city detective, which is Sherlock. I'm trying to remember his name. Sherlock Shepard. Now, the big city detective causes chaos in the small sheriff office between the two other deputies because he's an outsider. And he also makes an unexpected play on Bay's heart. So this creates a balance between the two. Next, we're going to talk about complex relationship. Ultimately, in manifest relationship mirrors real life dynamics, enriching the narrative. And by intertwining the positive and the negative interaction, the author can craft a captivating tapestry that keeps readers emotionally engaged and eager to discover the outcome of these intricate connections. So this is Bay and Chewy at the top. We already know they have a positive interaction with each other. But there's multiple layers within the story between Bay and her Aunt Ivy. She always trying to please her Aunt Ivy. She cannot live up to Aunt Ivy's expectation. So it causes a mixture of positive and negative interaction. And between Aunt Ivy and Willow Means, there's always a negative interaction between these two. So that's the different layers of positive and negative interaction with my characters in this here book. Next, we're going to move on to evolution and growth. Now, characters aren't just static entities, they are meant to evolve. And as writers, it's our responsibility to guide our characters through a journey of change and growth that captivate the reader's heart. Now, the characters should evolve just as real people. And in the beginning of book one, Bay don't trust. She fears love. She can't keep a job. She never finishes anything that she starts. But by the end of book one, you will see a slight change in her values, her beliefs, in her personality. And by the end of the series, because My Cozy Mystery is a series, you will witness a transformation of growth with Bay. And that's what character arc comes into play. When character change, our readers are drawn into the struggles and triumphs, which forge a powerful connection with the readers because it mirrors human experience, making the story's theme and messages hit home. And here you can see the different changes of Babe throughout the story. So crafting characters that evolve and grow is the heart of storytelling magic. By guiding them through challenges and experience, we create characters that are real, that resonate, that forge a deep connection between the readers and the narrative. So, as you embark on your writing journey, remember that a well crafted character growth isn't just about change, it's about crafting in an experience, human experience that mirrors us. And then we have internal monologue and thoughts. By exploring the character's inner thoughts, we gain insight into their motivation and conflict. This intimate perspective allows us to understand their desires, their fears, and the driving forces behind their action. So you're going to have internal monologues and external monologues. At the beginning of this book, which is written in first person, I used the process of grounding my character, Bay, by making her feel realistic, relatable, three-dimensional within the contents of the story. And there is internal monologues dealing with her internal conflict because she feels like she's the epitome of failure because she believed in fate, Fate, versus faith, Faith. So internal monologue, as I said, it serves as a bridge between the characters and readers, deepening the emotional connection between the readers, share their journey, fostering empathy and engagement. Now, the external and internal balance is crucial to strike that balance because in the book one, even though Bay talks a lot to herself, have that internal, she also interacts with Mr. Bud the Wiser, her cat. So that creates a balance. While the internal monologue provide depth, too much disrupt the narrative flow. External actions and dialogue maintain the story momentum, complementing the inter-exploration. And then the next step is antagonist with death, you know. Antagonist has a role, they has a history. So to create a truly compelling narrative that's essential to develop a three-dimension antagonist, these characters possess motivation, fears, and desires that mirror these protagonists, making their conflict and interaction more authentic. So you want to humanize your antagonist. By understanding your antagonist's motives and goals, you breathe life into them when you create a backstory and aspiration, which make them more engaging and reliable adversaries. Now, my villain has a backstory that goes back to his childhood. It's so tragic that you would empathize where he came from and why he's the way he is. But at the same time, you want to see justice served. And with a cozy mystery, there's always justice in the end. So the catalyst for growth and change, your antagonist is more than just a foil to the protagonist. Their challenges force the protagonist to dig deep, test their limits, and confront their weakness. We see how the two interact is weaved in together. So this dynamic relationship propels the plot forward, infusing tension and excitement to every scene. And my favorite secondary characters, the impact of secondary characters. And secondary characters are the unsung heroes that enrich the depths of the story. These characters often have their own motivations and struggles, infuse the story with a sense of authenticity. You want to give them unique roles and personalities that resonate with your readers. And my secondary characters, believing you may think they're your next door neighbor or someone in your family. The actions and connections of these characters should impact both the main characters of the plot. Their minor decisions or interactions can lead to unexpected consequences, propelling the story in a new direction and sparking a pivotal moment of conflict and resolution. So ultimately, the secondary characters are the threads that weave the narrative together. And the impact of the secondary cat, what really these are the subplots that push the main narrative forward. And these are my supporting characters, my secondary characters. If you notice, they all have their own little visual personalities and unique traits just by looking at them. I gave them pictures of people that I found online that brought my characters to life to me as I write, and I can share them with others. And this is where reader engagement and feedback comes into play through social media. Don't fear social media. In today's digital age, social media and book clubs provide invaluable platform for this engagement. Utilizing social media allows us to connect with a global audience, fostering discussions, sharing insights, and even giving readers a glimpse into our creative process, as well as book clubs, whether it's in person or online. Create dedicated spaces for readers to dissect and celebrate our work, fostering a sense of community and connections. So don't be afraid of social media. Even if you have to just start off with one platform, that is the perfect place to introduce your characters to your readers or to develop a rapport with potential readers. So it also a place to gauge reaction. Listening to and learning from our audience reaction is a powerful tool. It provides us with a direct line to our readers' emotions, allowing us to gauge what resonate, what elicit excitement, and even what might need further exploration. So approach social media with your characters. Let them be a part of Twitter and Facebook, all the platforms out there. Then you want visual aids and inspiration, which is that's something you're going to bring into the social media platform. Visual aids are the secret weapon of bringing characters to life. Not only do you have to share on social media, you can put them in your newsletter. You can do blog interviews with your characters. Give them a picture or put them in a coffee shop and include that as a blog post. By creating images, colors, and textures that invoke the essence of our characters, we create a visual landscape. And I use Pinterest to create my pictures and mood boards that sparks our imagination. In other words, they capture the unique atmosphere surrounding each character. I need a drink of coffee. Visual aid allows us to connect characters' traits with tangible representation. A character's demeanor, style, and backstory can be reflected through visual elements. And Bay, my main character, she likes all things nostalgic. She likes antique books. She has a 1976 Volkswagen. She likes record players, the old-fashioned ones that she finds off in antique stores and thrift shops and albums. So by creating a picture or a vision board that represents who Bay is. Then we want to talk about diversity and inclusivity. Embracing diversity and inclusivity enhances our storytelling and foster connection with a wider audience. As writers, we have the power to create worlds that celebrate the richness of humanity while respecting the uniqueness of each individual. But you want to avoid stereotypes and cliches by remembering that each character, regardless of their background, should be treated as an individual with unique experiences and traits. So you want to research and sensitivity allow our allies in creating characters that resonate authentically without harmful cliche. And finally, creating emotional endings, endings that evoke powerful emotions that have the potential to leave an indelible mark on your readers. So, readers want resolution and closure, especially with a cozy mystery. You must have closure. Emotion can range from joy to triumph to bittersweet nostalgia or even heart-wrenching sorrow. Whether it's resolving conflict, achieving personal growth, or leaving room for a hint of possibility, a satisfying conclusion rewards the reader's emotional investment and provide a sense of closure. So as a writer, we hold the key to creating endings that resonate and lingers in the heart of our readers. And I just want to give you a complete conclusion of everything we talk about right quick. Crafting unforgettable characters is not a one-time task, but an ongoing process that demands dedication and finesse. By nurturing their growth, shaping their arcs, and breathing life into their essence, we forge connection that transcend the confines of the page. Characters who feel real hold a special place in the reader's heart. Its authenticity and the relatability and the emotions that evokes that make them memorable. These characters become companions, mentors, and friends, resonating long after the final chapter has been read. And as you continue your own writing journey, you may embrace the power of character creation and carry forth the insights gained here to craft stories and captivate, engage, and connect with readers around the world. Now, these are my characters. I just want to give y'all a quick look at my character. Bay Weatherwater is the main character. My amateur sleuth, that's her father, Raymond Weatherwaters. He's the sheriff. Her Aunt Ivy, her cousin Olive James. William Chance is one of my secondary characters. He has a subplot with Willow Means. She owns a thrift store. And that's Mayor Morris Coleman and his niece, Penelope Coleman. That's Desi Doyle, a part of human trafficking, will be a part of this story. And that's Getty Gertrude Gentry, her daughter, Athena Gentry, and Lana Jean Peasley. She's just mentioned in this book, but she's a character that's going to come alive in book 2. That's Deputy Herman Stiles, Deputy Chewy Emerson, and Detective Sherlock Shepard, as well as Deacon Tivador. And Mr. Bud the Wiser, how can you not remember him? And his new friend that he will meet is Miss Cleopatra. So if you want to reach me, be sure to check out my website at tishbouvier.me. I'm on Linktree at Tish Bouvier, and you can follow me on all the social media platforms as Tish Bouvier. I hope you found some golden nuggets in this. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'm here for you. Let's see. Did y'all enjoy that? Let me go and check. Let's see. That's Nick. He said he's waving. He got his horse. Say good morning. Jen is here. This is from earlier, y'all. Hey, Ruth. It's good to see you. Jen said, I love characters so much. Yes, characters are my favorite. And I love names. I love character names. My suggestions for you, if you can't think of a character name, keep a notebook. One time we was driving out of town and I saw some names of towns. I wrote them down. I was like, oh, I never heard these names before. So Ann is here. Hey, Ann. Jen said, I love the strategy of positive and negative tracking to see how I'm writing my characters to mix it up for my readers and to keep the pace. Yes, you definitely got to keep pace, maintain that balance. Jen said one of her favorite books is A Monster's Call by Patrick Nace. This question for you. Do you know on the first page when you need a book that the characters are for you, or does it take your time? I know before I even write who my characters are. Only thing I really struggle with sometimes, maybe there's one character whose name does not fit her personality. And like Alfina, I had a hard time coming up with her name because the names I had just did not fit her. So yeah, I usually know immediately. And said, explain to the audience, how do you get to know your characters? Dreams. Dreams. I dream in color. My dreams are so vivid. I can come up with an ideal and then I dream. I don't know how it worked, but I end up dreaming of all my characters. And if I struggle with a name, sometimes their name comes to me in dreams. So yeah, it's usually dreams, and usually it's bits and pieces of people I have met along my life. Let's see. Jen did mention, yeah, grounding is so important. So if you usually, I would say, because I'm using first person with my first series, you want to introduce that character, so you have to ground that character. You have to make them so real that you have to captivate your readers immediately in that first few paragraphs of your story, if not the first sentence. Oh, hi, Dreaming Truth. It's so good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see, any more questions, y'all? We have about 4 more minutes before we move on to our next session. Let's see, Jen said, we have book club, Monarch loves our Discord book club. Yeah, be sure to go to Monarch Book Club. Uh, check out Monarch Station channel on YouTube. There should be a link that'll take you to the Discord. Let's see. Everyone's just chatting. Let me scroll down to see if there's any more questions here. Jean says cemeteries are good. Oh, I'm scared of cemeteries. I should be afraid of the dead, right? But cemeteries are great places to find names. Yeah, if you're brave enough to go out there to a cemetery to get you some great names, yes, 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 yes. There's a name generator that I look up online sometime, or I ask my kids because they into mangas and Pokemons, and I usually ask them what is the weirdest name. Sometimes I get a name from there, and then I combine a couple of names that way. But my characters' names always come first. I have to have a name, and that goes with my character. Ruth said, yeah, she's done that. Okay, y'all, I thank y'all for joining me. I really appreciate y'all taking the time for my presentation. I hope you got some golden nuggets. Be sure to like and subscribe and continue to follow the playlist. We are moving on to our next session. We got 2 minutes to get over there. Until then, I will see you back here for our first writing session this morning. Until next time, happy writing. Enjoy the conference.